Hello, everybody. This is Jim from Augusto Digital, and this is part 2 of our AI-powered application development series, where we're evaluating AI-powered development tools. Let's move on next here to just talk through what we're doing. We're going to go and do an overview of AI-powered development tools. We're going to do a live demo, and we're going to build a weather app that uses a third-party API. We're going to get some insights to the strength and weaknesses of each tool, and we'll leave here with some practical takeaways for developers, startups, and businesses. With that said, one of the reasons we're evaluating and looking at all these AI tools is they're very powerful to help accelerate development, reduce time to market, enhance efficiency, and lastly, which I think is very powerful for business owners like myself or a software development company like myself, we can help businesses validate their concepts faster using rapid prototypes. So each tool we look at, we're going to look at the ease of use, the speed and performance, the features that that tool offers, the overall quality, how well did it create an application, including the tech stack, and lastly, the cost. With that said, we're going to move on to the second tool in our series called Loveable.dev. Now, let me move here really quick to Loveable. The website is Loveable.dev, and you can see here I'm logged in. And before we get to that, here's the screen. It's same as the previous application we looked at. It'll let you attach an image, import from Figma, or in this case, just start typing your prompts. So let's do this with the prompt as we did last time. We'll be creating a weather application. The goal is to build a responsive weather app called the Augusto AI Demo Weather App. Our prompt is we want a modern, responsive app. It's going to be called the Augusto AI Demo Weather App that works on a desktop and mobile. The features are going to be we want a form on the first screen with an input text of name, and we also want you to enter your zip code, and then we have a little title on that says enter your name and zip code. The first technical thing I'm going to ask it, and again, this is conversational prompts, is try to use the browser's geolocation or the mobile app to get their location. If it's unavailable or it's declined, fall back to using a zip code. And then you can see here, I'm going to use the Open Weather API to retrieve the current weather. I'm telling it that, first of all, get the latitude and longitude, and then from the latitude and longitude, go ahead and get the weather. Once we've put our zip code in or the machine's picked up our location, we want to get the weather data. So after submission, show a welcome message with the user's name, the current weather information, and very clearly here, I'm not saying very detailed, I want this information or look this way. I'm just telling it display the current weather info, the temperature, and whatever's returned from the API. We're going to evaluate how smart these tools are and what they actually bring back and choose to bring back. And then lastly, I'd like the background to be dynamic. So if it's snowing out, I want it to match the snow. If it's clear, I want clear and hazy and hazy. I have a couple notes that I've added in here. The first one is please make the app responsive so it's mobile, it works well on a mobile device. Have it be a clean and modern UI. And then choose the best technology. I'm not picking. I want to see what it does for me. And then lastly, this is a technical addition. I'd like it if possible, they make this app so it can work with the Jamstack. In particular, I want it to be hosted on Cloudflare pages. I'll do a follow-up video for each one of these where I deploy it, not in the application's native system, but into Cloudflare pages where it's got a cost-effective and useful tool. So without anything else, let me grab this whole prompt. I'm going to copy it. And I'm going to paste it right in Loveable, just as we did with the previous ones, and I'll hit return. Now I'm going to move this over. Very similar to the previous tools. On the left-hand side is our chat window, where I can add attachments or edit things. And on the right-hand side, it's starting to do a preview and give me some feedback. So Loveable tells me it's going to create a beautiful, responsive weather app. Inspired by a minimalist design principles that work seamlessly across all devices. That's great. It listened to me. They're going to title it the Augusto AI Demo Weather App. And it's going to be a clean, minimal interface. It's going to have a subtle backdrop here and change based on weather conditions. It's going to be responsive by design, and it's going to use a couple different effects as it builds. The features I'll implement first are geolocation with a fallback to zip code, the weather fetching from OpenAI, dynamic background, smooth animations, that's a new feature, and a responsive design that's mobile first. And in the design, you can tell this tooling is a little bit more focused on design. It's going to use soft whites and some light grays, and it's telling me what it's going to do. So let's start by building it. And you can see over here, as I've been talking, it's built out. In this case, it looks like some style sheets. It's using Tailwind, and it's building all the different components. Um, Unlike the previous tool, it hasn't told me like what technology it's kind of using. I can tell really quick. Looks like it's using a bit of React and TypeScript in addition to Tailwind. Um, and, and it's going, all right, here we go. It's come back now. It's still waiting on it. So as it builds, we'll see this go. I'll come back in a moment. It's still building. You can see, oh, right there, I just came back and had some more files. So let's see. I've created a beautiful responsive weather application. Uh-oh, looks like we've got an error message. We'll go fix that here in a minute. With a minimalist design, you'll need to enter your weather API key in here. That's great. It tells me the file where I need to put that before I can use it. So it's actually aired out because I didn't put that file in there. The app works perfectly on mobile and desktop. So what's next? Refine it, master the prompting, use clear and detailed prompts, expand the background. It wants me to connect to Supabase, very similar to Bolt. It's got GitHub to sync it, and it's got some debugging. We can activate this chat mode to do some troubleshooting and some knowledge. So I think what we need to do next is we need to store and add the API key. So I will go over here, and we want to go into a spot where I can change that. So give me a moment to change to code view. And the file it told me I needed to edit was in here a moment ago. Weather utils. So I'll go ahead and do that. So I went ahead and was going to enter in the API key, but it's read only until I connect it to GitHub. Now I could really quickly connect it to GitHub, but I like to see what it does by me prompting it. It said, I asked it to please use a secure location to store the open weather API key, and let's see what it does. It should prompt me to enter it now outside of it and then store it locally. Now, one of the things we'll do as we continue is I will connect this to GitHub, and you'll see that very quickly this application can be deployed to my Git source control, and we can have change management. That's probably something I should have done right away, but we'll do that here as we progress. Now, I was going to head and to hit GitHub, but you can see it ran into an error. It was build unsuccessful. And I clicked over here what the errors were. It looks like it's got some coding errors in here. So I clicked on a button that said fix the errors. So the prompt it gave was, for the code present, I get the error below. Please think step by step in order to resolve it. And I can click on here and show the error, but it looks like it's going to go ahead and restore and see what this error is. Again, I have another error that's showing up. The issue's been fixed by converting the JSX code in the weather utils. All right, let's try and get this one fixed as well. While it's doing that, I'm going to, again, try and connect to GitHub. So I'm going to connect to GitHub here. I'm going to use my own account. We'll wait for this to complete. All right, two things here. First is I am connected now to my GitHub. It has created a repo called Sunny Skipper Weather. It's the name it gave it. So that's nice to have. And two, it's now prompting me. So it's got this blue background. The first thing it's going to do is ask me for my API key. I'm going to put that in there, and then I'll hit next so we don't share that for the internet. All right, it stored it. So just like the other application, let's enter my name, Jim. Let's put a zip code in here, and let's see what we get. You can tell very quickly it came back. It called the API behind the scenes. It's got the Augusto AI weather. The background, I guess, is gray, right? We wanted the background to be, it's got a little powered by the weather API down here. It's got feels like, humidity, pressure, wind. It says I'm in Walker, Michigan. That's correct. There's really, even has an option to search again. So let's try this, Jim 2, and I'll go to Beverly Hills 90210. All right, there we go. Now it says Beverly Hills, USA, and it's clear. But what I don't like is the background. So let's see. please adjust the app to have a background that corresponds with the weather. As an example, if it is sunny, show a sunny background. Do this for all weather patterns and use free images. Let's see what it does. Each one of these tools, as you have a conversation with it or prompt it, utilize different technologies. So in this case, it looks like it's going to update it based on the weather condition, and it's going to modify the appropriate files. So let's see what it does. While it's building it out, I want to run through it. So let's click on this little icon. This is what it looks like on a mobile app. You can see here it's got mobile and web. It also has a similar to what we had in the previous tool, Bolt. I can publish this. We'll do this once the app is at a good space, and we've got a similar app to what we did last time. All right, so it refactored it. So now, based on the weather, it looks like it came with a nice background inside of that box. So in Beverly Hills, it looks like that's kind of the weather it is. Let's look at, let me find another zip code. All right, we're going to use a zip code from Hawaii. Let's see what we get here. All right, so it's in Pearl City. It's got a wave. It's got light rain. I would like that background color to be the entire background page, not the focus box. So the background image is good. Can we use that on the full page background and keep the focused box a corresponding color? All right, let's see what it does. So I'm hoping that I can pivot this background to be the entire background of the app and not just in that window. Let's see what it does. It's going to update the app to use the weather background of the image of full page while keeping a color coordinated box for the content. Great. It must have recognized what I was looking for. One nice thing about Loveable is I can go back and look at the history of what I've done while it's going. You can see that I can hide that window and go full screen with what we're building. And over here, there's a code viewer. Again, all the code's in here. Now that I've set up GitHub Sync, I guess I actually have to turn on Sync in here somehow, but I should be able to edit this. Let's go back to the preview. All right, so let's see what happens now. We'll do Jim. Let's go back to Grand Rapids or Walker. Actually, let's do 49. This would be Holland, Michigan. Got the weather, and it looks like it spread that image in the background of clouds. Nice. Let's do it one more time. Let's do it in 90210. And again, we got a nice image to kind of correlate. Great. It looks like we have a comparable app. Let's go ahead and use the publish feature. So it looks like it's going to publish this. Publish. I could connect it to a custom domain. So if you had, if this was a real application and you wanted it to be the Augusto AI demo weather app, we could use our custom domain to go there. All right, let's see what it did. Oh, right here is what it did. Here's the URL it created for me. Nice. Now, before it will use this URL, I have to put my API key in again. So let me do that. All right, I've entered the key. Put another zip code in here and let's get the weather. Nice. We're in Comstock Park. I've got this image. I don't like it how it blurred it out. See how it's got clearness there. Let's go back and let's go back to Loveable and solve that. So the background looks fuzzy or has an overlay. Please remove that and show the image. Let's see what happens. All right, let's go back. It removed the backdrop blur. I guess that's what it was called. So we'll do Jim test 534, and there we go. We have a nice looking image now in the back. So I think overall, we probably spent 10 minutes building this app. I would say it's usable. Let's go back and check some error handling. Let me put way too many letters in here, or numbers. Yep. So it checks that it's got a valid zip code. It does try and use my location. However, that's not enabled. Um, let's see what our options are for building a mobile app. Help me. So I'd say right now the app's complete. We could deploy this. We've built a great demo if we needed it. We could launch it and share it with clients or customers, add other features if we needed to. Before I leave, though, let's test the options to build a mobile app. Please make this a mobile app for iOS. Let's see what happens. So it looks like it's going to use capacitor dependencies here to build a file to let you run as a native application. They fixed the TypeScript, so it's added a check for components. So here's the steps for me to actually deploy if we need to. Export to GitHub, which I can do right from here. I need to run these commands. So I would need to do an npm install locally. It would look like it would run I think it's capacitor to run iOS. It would update it, build, and that would load into a simulator. Pretty great. So I'll stop this video now. If you have questions on this, please post it in the comments. Appreciate it. We'll be moving on to the next application.